Wedbush out with a new note on Tesla, raising its price target and tying a street high of $515. Joining us now, the analyst behind that note, Dan Ives, Managing Director and Global Head of Technology Research at Wedbush Securities. Very festive shot there for our friend Dan. Dan, it's good to see you here. We know that you've been a longtime bull on Tesla, and you just keep getting sort of incrementally more bullish. What's the catalyst for this latest tick up in your price target?
Yeah, Julie, I mean, if you look at Trump in the White House, it's a total game changer for Musk and Tesla. The autonomous future is now ahead. And I believe autonomous is worth $1 trillion alone. And I think how the bears have missed this, the bears don't see AI in their spreadsheets. This is a name that's going to continue to move higher. I believe autonomous, robotics, disruptive tech, we could be looking at a $2 trillion market cap or higher as we go into 2025.
Now, another thing, though, sticking with all things Trump, Dan, Trump is a big believer, as we know, in tariffs as well. I mean, what happens? He hits, he does hit China with new tariffs. It's not crazy to think that Beijing then responds, reacts, retaliates. What could that mean for Tesla?
I think the bromance between Musk and Trump, Musk is going to be heavily involved in the tariffs discussion. I believe there's going to be a carve out for Tesla, a carve out for Apple, and a carve out for NVIDIA and some more of the chips. And our view is Tesla ultimately wins because of their presence in China with what we see with the Gigafactory. And I think when you look across the board, Musk made a bet for the ages on Trump, and that continues to pay dividends. And that's why the stock obviously being meteoric, you're starting to see some bears, get on to the bull train. I just think it's a get out the popcorn moment. This continues to move higher.
Dan, what are the risks, though, with Musk's closeness with Trump? I mean, we have seen in the past that there have been folks who have been close to Trump in the first term, for example, who have been attention seekers, like an Elon Musk, and it hasn't necessarily turned out well for them in the longer term. Are you worried about that at all?
Look, I think this is going to be different. In other words, in some ways, they both need each other. I mean, Trump needs Musk, Musk needs Trump. I think this alliance actually gets stronger. From the AI innovation, the China tariff discussions. This is going to be for Karate Kid fans a sweep the leg moment when it comes to some of the stuff in the Beltway from NHTSA and obviously FTC and others. It's a bullish environment for big tech, right? And I think when you look at this AI party, it continues to be 10 p.m. It was 9 p.m. It's 10 p.m. It goes to 4 a.m. And now Musk is on the dance floor along with Jensen, Hart from Palantir, Nadella, and others.
Dan, what about Tesla's core EV business, more near term, over the next 12 months? The trajectory of that business looks like what to you, Dan?
Look, I think, Josh, we're going to see deliveries 15-20% into next year. So deliveries are going to continue to increase from a delivery perspective. I think China starts to rebound. We're starting to see that this quarter. And then a lot of their price cuts have already happened in the rearview mirror. And that's why I'm not saying that there could be some things that still happen. Okay, we're going to have some bumps in the road. But this now is much more of a champagne moment for Musk and Tesla shareholders. And that's why a lot of the bears, they're going into hibernation mode, with their spreadsheets.
On the car business itself, Dan, there was a report today from Nikkei that Honda and Nissan were in talks to potentially have some kind of a merger, in part to provide a more formidable competitor in electric vehicles. How do you think about that competitive landscape?
Look, Julie, I think, especially with EV tax credits getting cut once Trump comes in, we're going to see consolidation from an EV perspective. You're also going to see a lot of the big three start to go more hybrid and maybe tone down that strategy. We're going to see international consolidation from Europe, I think, to parts of Asia. And this is going to play out. And ultimately, at the top of that mountain is Tesla. It continues to be Tesla's world, and everyone else is paying rent when it comes to the EV market.
Dan, always great to see you and to have you on the show. Happy holidays, my friend.
You too.